Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Some more breaking news as Clay Holmes is on his way to the New York Mets. He goes from the Yankees, from the Bronx, all the way to Queens. 3 years, $38 million, an opt-out after the second year. And the Mets plan to turn Clay Holmes into a starter. Um, he spent the majority of his career um, as a pretty good closer. The last 3 years for the Yankees. We'll get over to his stats here. These are his playoff stats. Regular season, he had 30 saves last year, 24 the year prior. And then in 2022, he had 20 saves. So he's been a pretty reliable reliever. He did lose his job to Luke Weaver down the stretch for the New York Yankees, and still came up with some pretty big moments for them in the playoffs. Did struggle with some inherited runners in the postseason and down the stretch for the Yankees last year. Obviously, two-time All-Star, and really found his game. The Yankees really found something in 2021 when they brought him over from Pittsburgh. Obviously, he was pretty unhittable there in 2021. There, he had a 1.61 ERA in 28 innings when he came over from the Pirates. So, this is an interesting signing, I guess, because as you can see here, he's only started 4 games in his career, and it was all the way back when he was 25 years old in 2018. So if you go over to the rotation right now, obviously they lost Severino. He went to the A's, 3 years, $67 million. We did a video on that actually. So you got Kodai Senga at the top. He only started 1 game. Obviously, he got hurt twice. He came back in the playoffs and really wasn't that much effective, even in the playoffs when he came back. So he basically didn't pitch at all last year. You bring in Frankie Montas on a free agent deal this year. He's also had some injury problems, but he did have 150 innings pitched last year. So he showed that he had a nice little bounce back season last year. You got David Peterson, who had a pretty solid year, 2.9 ERA and 21 starts. You insert Clay Holmes there in the number 4 spot. And then obviously you bring back Paul Blackburn, who they got in a trade with the Oakland Athletics at the deadline last year. So you look at the starting rotation, and I still think you need another guy here. You need to go out and flex your muscles if your ownership and go get a Corbin Burns or a Max Fried type. And all of a sudden, this looks like a pretty solid rotation. I feel like they're missing a guy behind Sanga, 1A, 1B, whatever you want to call it. Pretty decent bullpen. Obviously, you got Evan Diaz, who had his ups and downs last year. But just to go back to Clay Holmes, obviously it's 3 years, 38, a little bit over 13 mil, if my math's correct. Um, so if it doesn't work out, though, I guess you can put him into your bullpen, but he becomes a pretty expensive setup guy behind or in front of Evan Diaz, I should say. But yeah, let's go take a look at the Mets payroll as it stands right now. Um, Obviously, you got that Lindor, Nimmo, 1 more year of Marte, and he's a free agent. You got that player option for $17 million with Frankie Montas. And then you got a pretty friendly contract here with Kodai Senga. Then you got Jeff McNeil making $15 million the next couple years. You go down to Arb, Blackburn projected to be 4.4. And right now they're at about $200 million, but they're still in the Juan Soto sweepstakes. This contract certainly doesn't take them out of that play for sure. I think that Stephen Cohen's got something up his sleeve. I wouldn't be surprised if Corbin Burns went to the Mets or a Max Fried type out of nowhere. I'm not sure if they've had much contact, but I still think they need another starting pitcher in here. It's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, you saw um, last year with the Giants, Jordan Hicks, they converted him from an elite reliever to a starting pitcher, and he had a pretty good start to the season, but he ended up reverting back to the bullpen towards the back end of that last season. So Clay Holmes hasn't started really his whole career, so it's going to be interesting to see how he converts. And yeah, pretty good signing. Other than that, we've been doing a lot of these reaction videos. So if you like this video, give us a like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Later.